Hey guys, welcome to SimRacingPaddock. I'm William Marsh, and it is time for me to eat some words. In this video, we're going to be test driving the Skip Barber F2000 mod for Assetto Corsa, brought to us by Daniel Jimenez and his crew to bring this car to Assetto Corsa. So, I did some earlier testing with this car in a live stream, and before we get into my driving, let's show you what I was talking about this car before I can get a mouthful of my words. I mean, this car legitimately has issues with it. I guess I just hear people gawking over this car, and that's what got me a little curious, but it's like, this is not a good car. I mean, I know people are like excited, it's Skip Barber, it's Skip Barber. I mean, is there like some major setup thing I'm missing or what? Because Skip Barber is supposed to teach you proper racing technique. This version of the Skip Barber, you have to drive unlike any other car. Because the idea is you're supposed to steer as little as possible, and that's what other Skip Barber, like the first party Skip Barber cars, represent. This, you understeer even with like 5 degrees of steering. I mean, if there's a setup that really improves this car, I'll happily take back my statement, but out of the box, this car is horrible. So those were my initial thoughts on the Skip Barber F2000 car for Assetto Corsa. The issue is, they're just about all wrong. This car is actually an excellent done mod for Assetto Corsa, and it's actually a lot of fun once you get a handle on the car. So basically, one of the ways to judge this car is compared to other existing examples of the Skip Barber F2000, and those two main examples are in iRacing and R-Factor 2. And those are interesting examples though, because those two cars, while they are largely the same, have very different characteristics. The R-Factor 2 version of the car is incredibly lively out of the box and forces you to really drive with good form, or else you're going to be quickly facing the wrong way. The iRacing version of the car is arguably the more tame of the two, and I think that's largely because it is a feeder class racing series, so it ships with a more conservative setup. This is somewhat in the middle, in my opinion. I'd say this version of the car does err towards the more conservative side. If you do really abuse the car, as you can see from the skid marks we just passed, you can end up in a tight spot. But all things considered, this car is quite conservative and easy-ish to drive. The main complaint I was having earlier with this car online was the fact that I couldn't get a feel for the grip of the car. Now I have this set to fast track, and I can easily get a decent grip on what is going on with the car. I'm actually getting a good idea of the feel, I can catch slides, the car is very intuitive. So I'm guessing I just really botched the setting big time when I was setting up my online racing live stream where I initially tested this car. So, with that being said, this car is not perfect though. It feels like the weight transfer is still a hair off. So one of the things they really try to teach you in these trainer spec cars and in racing schools is weight transfer. You want to be able to more abruptly shift the weight forward in the car to get the car pitched into corners, things like that. I'm sort of struggling with that. With this default setup being more inclined to understeer, I'm not able to really pitch the car into the corners as well as I can in the iRacing or R-Factor 2 versions. So that's a little disappointing. I'm wondering if a setup tweak might be able to improve that though. So out of the box, this car is a lot of fun to drive. This car, it can be intuitive. There are some moments where I get a little upset. It feels like the brakes on this car are a little overpowered and it might cause to excess locking up. So that is a little disappointing, but I bet turning down the brake pressure percentage in the setup screen could fix that. But I think maybe in an update for this car, lowering the default brake pressure, I think that might be a smart move, because I believe the real life car doesn't have as strong brakes. But all things considered, this is a great mod car for Assetto Corsa, and I'm happily willing to eat my words on what I said about this car earlier. This car is a blast to drive, and once I can figure out some setup issues I had with my servers, I would be happy to host this car in more races. So these are my thoughts on the Skip Barber Formula 2000 for Assetto Corsa. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing so you can help keep us on track. For the Sim Racing Paddock, I'm William Marsh, and you have a good one.